Sunday morning cold, eyes on the score, touchdown dance ball, craving for more. Friends are calling, trades are on fire. Rookies falling, championship desire. Fantasy football fever, chasing the dream. Top of the leaderboard, we're the winning team.
Fantasy playoffs is here, chasing the dream. Top of the leaderboard, you're the number one seed. Bum 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 bum. Welcome into the Fantasy Football Healers podcast. I'm your host, Dustin Brown, and you can find me at FF Healers. And with us today is our co-host, Colton Palmer. You can find him at FF Captain 22 on Twitter X. And don't forget to look us up on YouTube. Just search FF Healers.
I don't know how you don't have a career in singing. My goodness. I thought that was Taylor Swift for a moment. I really did. It's just the voice of an angel. Have you been called the songbird of your generation?
I have not been the songbird of my generation.
Oh.
Fun fact, I have not taken any lessons at all, Colton. And I'm the only person in my family that hasn't done it. I'm one of four siblings. I'm the oldest. When we moved, I was in sixth grade. Didn't take chorus or anything. All my other siblings were forced into doing chorus or band all the way through eighth grade. My sister, she wasn't doing really well in seventh grade for chorus, and she was trying to drop out.
Runs in
And
the family.
Mom said that she had to continue chorus through eighth grade. And she's like, but Dustin, he didn't have to do it. And I said, do you want to hear me sing? And she didn't answer, and she continued doing chorus all the way through eighth grade.
You have to go to every single concert if I start singing.
I'll go for sure, yeah.
Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll just open up that barbershop quartet, just you and me.
That just reminds me of Andy from The Office with his barbershop, like his quartet from college, from Cornell.
From Cornell.
From Cornell. Very prestigious. How did your fantasy teams fare out this season, and did you make any of the playoffs?
I made the playoffs in 50% of my leagues, so not bad numbers. I had first round exit in 4 of those leagues, so not great. I'm a liar. 3, only 3. One of my redraft, I moved along, and my wife and I are actually the number 1 and 2 seeds in the family redraft league. So we're faring well. We almost got locked on the same side of the bracket. It was a weird bracket, and luckily we got the reseeding, so we don't play each other this week. But hopefully we see each other next week. And this
increases the odds of holding the trophy up at the Colton Palmer household. Whoever wins is going to have bragging rights for a whole year.
Well, she's actually won it before. She's won the family league. I have yet to win. I'm in the playoffs every year, and every year I get ousted. She actually knocked me out the year she won, and then continued on and won the ship. But this year, I mean, if we both make it, it's going to be nothing but hostile on Christmas week, man. It's going to be just a bloodbath. Because I'm going for the throat. I'm relentless this year. La 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 la. But my dynasty teams, there's a couple that I thought I had a real good shot, and unfortunately my longest contending team, which has just been trying to piece together piece by piece, is just, I made the playoffs and it just crumbled. An average score in that league's like 130. I think I finished on the week with 80. It was just, I knew it was coming. That was the league I was trying to possibly thinking about selling Jonathan Taylor on that high mark and just saying, I'm a false contender here. And I just crumbled. And then, one of the leagues that I passed in, I just barely made it into the playoffs. I snuck in on the final week I ended up winning and beating the guy out by I had like 4 points more than him. I won, he'd lost, and I had just 4 points more. I was in the 7th seed all year long. Beat him out, and then I absolutely smoked the number one or the number 3 seed. I guess
Yeah.
number 3 seed. Smoked him, and he was so mad. But I mean that is fantasy football, man. And this week I'm actually projected right now. I'm at Sleeper has me at a 65% win percent chance because things are up. But right now, as we're recording, my boy JSN isn't doing much on the against that Rams defense. So if you see me checking my phone a lot, I'm just hoping and praying that JSN's going for a big one.
Yeah, no problem. You're not the only one that's looking for JSN points. I had 4 of my 5 dynasty teams make the playoffs. The one that missed, I was a 7th seed, and I had thought if I win, I'm going to be in, because the number 6 seed was playing the juggernaut number one seed, and he ended up beating him by 0.72 points. I did win my matchup, but I lost the war. I ended up being the 7th seed, and I did not make the playoffs in that league. I had two of my 4 that made the playoffs. I had a bye week, one of which I ended up winning pretty handily. And then the other one, I kind of pushed the chips in a bit more, and it came down to in a Superflex league, I was playing against 9, JJ McCarthy, and Kenny Gainwell. And I figured Kenny Gainwell was going to score about 20 points because he's playing Miami and it's going to be in the cold. And so I thought, okay, well, if JJ McCarthy doesn't play a very good game, then if he plays normal, like I'm going to be in, no problem. 9 comes out, throws an interception right from the jump. In that particular league, you get -3 points for an interception. So I'm thinking, all right, this is fine. I'm a Vikings fan, and I know 9 is not a good quarterback. So I'm like, okay, I think I'm going to make it. I think it's going to happen. From there on, just a disaster hits for my team. And so 9 ends up scoring, I think, 26 or 27 points. And I needed Gainwell to score 15 or less because of what 9 was putting up. He scores 19. I lose by 4. I scored 204 points in that league and lost to a team that ended up scoring 208. And I congratulated her. I said, she's a Vikings fan also, so she knows. I said, leave it to 9 to score his best game of his entire life against me in the playoffs.
That's what you get.
Well, and get this, I'm watching the game with my wife. Dallas Cowboys, Minnesota Vikings, and Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, they're on like the 50-yard line, and it's 4th down. I said, great. Okay, they're not going to get this. JJ McCarthy's going to get the ball back, and he's just going to throw the ball down the field like crazy and score a touchdown. That's exactly what happened. My wife's like, how did you know? And I'm like, that's just my luck.
That's fantasy football. Don't you know that you're not supposed to watch your opponent's players? Like, that's like one of the rules of the playoffs is you do not. Because as soon as you watch your opponent's players, they're going to start playing well. And just like you don't watch your own players, you cannot do it. If you watch your own players, they're going to play like garbage.
I did not watch the Monday Night Football game. I didn't watch a second of the game, nor did I check my phone until the game was absolutely over. And that was it. And then at that point, I saw the message in the group message chat from Fantasy, and I was just like, "Oh shit, I lost."
Mm-hmm.
What did I lose by? And I was like, "Okay, I lost by 4 points."
I actually, unfortunately, lost my streaming.
A couple points.
I lost my streaming connection for this weekend, and I normally just absolutely sit on Red Zone throughout Sunday, just watching everything, and I lost it. And so I'm updating Sleeper just left and right, just watching my playoff dreams get crushed, just being delivered bad news after bad news.
Speaking of bad news, we have sad news that has been provided to everybody at this point, and that was Daniel Indiana Jones is, how can I say this, Colton? He's done for the season. He might be done for next season also. He had an Achilles rupture right on the field, and that was just 2 weeks ago. We didn't go on last week. But then you're like, okay, Indianapolis, what are they going to do? Okay, well, they throw Riley Leonard in. And Colton, you can speak to how well that he played. And then after the game, they say, oh, Riley Leonard has a knee injury. He has a first-degree PCL injury. And they don't have a quarterback to start the week.
Not a single one.
And then the rumors start to circulate. And then somehow, old man Phillip Rivers, ends up coming in and signs. And not only did he sign, but he started the game. And what did you think about him playing? Well, you didn't get a chance to watch any of it, did you, Colton?
I watched the highlights. I did. I went and watched the highlights just because I was interested. That ball was the slowest ball I have ever seen. Oh my gosh. I mean, that is just an absolute DB's dream. It's just to see the ball coming in so incredibly slow that you can just track it and just catch it out of the air. I don't know how it stayed afloat. I don't know how it had no zing, zip, nothing.
It reminded me of when Peyton Manning had his neck injury towards the end, and he just had the flutter ball that was happening. And the Colts defense, you got to say they did enough.
They played well.
The Colts, they were in it all the way to the end. They had a chance to win the game against the Seahawks, playoff contending team. And, they just missed it. The Colts just missed it.
Yeah. Anything to not play Anthony Richardson, man. That's really what it is. Although they did open up his 21-day practice window coming off the IR. So we'll see kind of what comes of it. But the unfortunate news, Daniel Jones rupturing his Achilles. So the Colts are going to go ahead and do something extremely stupid and set their franchise back another 3-4 years by signing him this offseason and giving him money. So
they don't have a lot of options. They also they spend some draft capital and on Sauce Gardner, and he is also no longer playing for him.
Yeah, he also is injured. I can't remember what his injury was exactly. But they went and spent 2 first rounds to go and get Sauce Gardner. They were all in. I mean, Daniel Jones was going to take him on a playoff run, and they looked the part. And unfortunately, that's just what happens. Especially when you don't have a Nick Foles to back up your team. They literally had nothing. They had no backup. They've got Anthony Richardson hopefully coming back, because I think, honestly, as atrocious as Anthony Richardson is, I don't think it can be as bad as Phillip Rivers, man. I just don't. He's going to get hurt out there. Did you see the play where he went to do a drop back and just fell? I was like, this is it. I thought I was watching an injury video when I was watching this highlight. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, Grandpa's down.
Did you see the footage of what Madden made him look like? They made him look fat.
I did. I mean, the one of the first questions in his press conference was, how much do you weigh right now?
Really? Someone asked that?
Someone straight up asked it. They're like, how much do you weigh right now? Just going for the throat, man.
Wow. I can't believe that they asked that. Did he answer it?
He did. I mean, in a nice political way. He's like, well, probably too much or whatever.
Okay.
Something along those lines. Didn't give an actual number, but
what was interesting when this whole signing and all that stuff happened, and even after he stepped foot and played in the game, that his insurance, his medical insurance, restarted for him and his family and his 10 kids. It was about ready to be up. And I guess you have only about 5 years after you retire until you start paying the premiums. And now it's reset completely for him. So for the next 5 years, for his family and his 10 kids, he's going to have insurance paid by the NFL.
Do you think that covers grandkids as well? Because he does have a grandchild.
I don't know.
Grandfather Rivers is what they call him.
Is it like USAA insurance? If you're part of the family, it just goes down to the next generation.
Old Poppy Rivers.
Are you kidding me? The old man River won't shut up about it.
Oh man, it's what a catastrophe! What an absolute catastrophe! And I think like since losing that game, like their playoff chances are 0.
They still have a shot if they continue to win out.
I
The
think
Colts
it's
do
like
still have a shot for their division, I think, right?
I think it's like a low chance at this point, like the
It's
percentage.
low. They're like 2 games back.
Yeah, so
Definitely comes slimmer. But you were saying about Anthony Richardson here also, and I feel like with really no clear amount of time that this rehab is going to take for Daniel Jones. We saw it almost take 2 years for Aaron Rodgers to come back and Kirk Cousins to actually look somewhat decent. The Colts aren't going to want to wait that long for Daniel Jones to come back. He is not signed at all. You said they may make a mistake to pay him. Anthony Richardson's really the only one that's signed on the team, and Riley Leonard. That's pretty much what they have to choose from. And if that's the case, do they give the keys back to Anthony Richardson for next season?
I don't see what choice they have. I mean, we are seeing. I mean, we'll get to this news probably pretty shortly, but there's going to be some quarterbacks that are going to be on the free agency market. I have a feeling this offseason. I'll just throw out 2 right now. Kyler Murray is not going to be an Arizona Cardinal. We've talked about that, but Tua Tagovailoa is getting benched there in Miami, and it seems like this team is preparing themselves to move on from Tua. So there's going to be some people on this free agency market, or heaven forbid they trade. I don't think they would trade for him. I think everyone's just going to sit and wait. But I mean, those are guys that have at least played in the NFL, are viable options to bridge it. I mean, it all depends on what they do, though, because Tua's not going to go somewhere where he's getting paid little money. I mean, there's plenty of teams.
He's getting paid a lot of money right now. And
right.
That's part of the problem with the whole benching is that he's getting a hefty contract.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if he's going to go somewhere after getting cut, he's going to want a decent paycheck. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to pay him what he's getting paid now, but he's not going to go to some team where they're just offering the minimum veteran like salary. He's going to want a little bit more because he has played, in the past relatively well. He shows, I mean, he's a decent quarterback. He's just not what Miami's wanting right now, and they're moving on. And I mean, there's plenty of teams that could use a quarterback better than what they have now.
You don't have a dome, or if you're not a warm weather team, like you're probably not wanting to sign Tua.
Has he won in anything? What is it? What's the
Jets? They beat the Jets like a week or 2 ago, and that was like the only game that they ended up winning. That was 40 degrees or
40.
less.
I was gonna say, is it 40 degrees? Is that our target test?
They're like 1-8 or 1-9, and it was only because like a week or 2 ago they ended up playing the Jets and they beat the Jets.
Wild, man. Yeah, and I mean, but there is going to be options, but I mean, I just foresee them. It all depends on what they do with Daniel Jones, because if they sign him to money, they're not going to be able to afford a Kyler Murray or Tua. They're going to have to let Anthony Richardson ride this one out.
I mean, the Colts, I don't know what they have as far as cap, but I guarantee they have a lot more cap space than like the Chiefs, who we haven't talked about, also having quarterback problems. Patrick Mahomes ends up going down with an ACL injury and has surgery like the next day.
What quarterback problems? They got Daddy Minshew slinging the. Have you seen the goatee? Oh God. Gardner Minshew, my guy. I loved him on the Colts, man. He's just seems like an awesome guy. He's like a Baker Mayfield light,
I agree. Yes.
Like, just seems like a cool dude, down to earth, lots of fun, just an absolute dog. But yeah, no, he's no Patrick Mahomes, but I mean, he's shown that he's at least competent. He's not going to be great, but he's not going to be the worst option.
Did you hear that there was rumor stating that the Chiefs had the wrong trainers on the field for Patrick Mahomes? They had They had Megan Trainor on the field, and that's the reason why Patrick Mahomes' ACL is no longer present, and he needed to have a surgery.
They had what?
Megan Trainor,
Like the singer?
like the commercials with the knee brace, and she's going all about the bass.
Oh, I've never seen the commercial.
Whoa, they have all kinds of commercials, and she's like trying to put like a knee brace on Patrick Mahomes' arm in the commercial. And she's just trying to say it's all about that bass, all about that bass. And they're like making fun of her in this commercial. You've not seen this?
Not seen it.
God, they played it all season.
It went right over my
It seemed to
head.
be pretty annoying. It was a State Farm commercial, of course.
Oh. Yeah, I've not seen that one. Sorry, I missed your joke, man. I feel bad.
Oh, that's okay. There's other listeners that are out there that I'm sure have heard and seen that awful commercial. They made her look awful in that commercial, and they made her look sound stupid. But it ultimately came down to she was holding the knee brace that will soon be on Patrick Mahomes' knee, if it isn't already.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Actually, I think I just saw videos of him already starting his rehab and everything. So
they're getting him in quick.
He's moving right along. They don't have time to spare. You know, they've got. I'm sure Travis Kelce is now retiring?
For sure. He was going to retire either way.
I mean,
he looks like he's so checked out. And so may I ask you this? This is a Dynasty podcast. So if Travis Kelce, who's the tight end? Is the tight end currently on the team for the Kansas City Chiefs that's going to be replacing Kelce next year? Like a Noah Gray or a Jared Wiley, Tunyon? Is there anybody else that you're like, that could be kind of a nice fit, or maybe a Dulcich that's currently with Miami that's going to be let go after this year? Like, does he squeeze in there and fill in the Kelce role?
I mean, it all depends. I think they really do like Noah Gray there a lot. They've been, he gets some targets here and there, but I don't know if they're going to ever go back to the Kelce role. Kelce was a one of one. I mean, no matter what you feel about the guy, he was an absolute stud at that tight end position. Him and Mahomes had such a great connection to where they just read each other's mind. I mean, over the last couple of years, it's kind of gone downhill a little bit more, but even still, they made special plays together. And that's what everyone's been chasing for years in the fantasy football, dynasty football world is, I'm getting the next Kelce. I'm like, Kelce's was a one of one. I mean, he was a special tight end that got lots of targets because he just had such a good connection with his quarterback, and he played such a different game. So I don't know if they will be chasing down for that Travis Kelce role. I mean, we might see a whole new Chiefs offense, and heck, maybe we'll see better receivers get involved here now.
Well, and one could argue that Rice has kind of taken over that role that Kelce had been playing for so many years. And then that kind of just adds the question that you kind of brought up, like they're probably going to be bringing some other wide receivers in and some other weapons in to this offense. And we were talking off the air, like if they potentially lose out, they're going to be a top 10 first round pick in next year's NFL draft.
Wild what he could do with a top 10 wide receiver. I mean, he hasn't had, since Tyreek left, he has not had an elite wide receiver. Rashee Rice is a good wide receiver, but he is not that elite talent that, Tyreek was. And so, I mean, I think if he gets an elite one, granted next year he'll be his first year off ACL, don't expect great things. But down the road, especially once they get the guy's rookie year out of the way, year two, God, it's going to be so gross to see him back up and winning again. Just hate it.
And, as we're talking about the wide receiver position, T. Higgins just like 2 weeks ago ends up getting knocked around, and then was he in concussion protocol? Wasn't he in concussion protocol? Finishes the game only to find out that he is in fact in now concussion protocol. Didn't play last week. Now that the Bengals are out of it, like, does he play this weekend or does he play any more the rest of this season because he's had a couple concussions here in a short period of time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the concussion specialist like you are, but I know it's not great to have back-to-back concussions. It was interesting that they cleared him to come back for that the game, and then it came out like Monday or Tuesday. That's like, oh, T. Higgins is back in concussion protocol, and we're like, oh, well, we knew. Just glad you guys finally figured that out.
You know who hasn't figured out about concussions? Jackson Dart. They're saying, don't lead with your head. Like, don't put yourself into situations. And again, this past weekend, he found himself in the blue tent getting checked out for concussion.
Dude,
unbelievable. Like 7 or 8 times he's been checked for concussion this season.
He is not.
And he hasn't played the whole season.
He's not long for this league, man. Dynasty managers, I already sold him on the hype, essentially. But earlier this season, I got 9 and Travion Henderson out of the deal. Because I was like, I watched him play. It was like after his second game, and I'm like, this dude is gonna get absolutely torn to bits if he doesn't learn. And I was like, I know we said the same thing about Jaden Daniels. Oh my god. I know we said the same thing about him, but he learned to slide and he learned to get out of bounds. I mean, you're
funny you bring up about Jaden Daniels, because what happened against the Minnesota Vikings with Jaden Daniels?
He got hurt again, but it was his elbow.
Why was he playing?
Why? They still had playoff hopes. They
did not.
They still did.
They had an 8-game losing streak coming into the Minnesota Vikings. 9 and the Vikings ended up beating them like 30-31 or 34-0.
Yeah, they saw that there was like a 10% chance that they made the playoffs, and they were running with it.
That was awful.
His was a pain tolerance thing, but back to Jackson.
Got nicked. He barely got touched, landed on his elbow, and now they're like, oh, yeah, he could have went back in. And it's like, oh, we're shutting him down for the season. Yeah. He should have been shut down the rest of the season.
I agree.
Mariota wasn't playing bad.
I agree completely. But we're talking about Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart. Back to Jackson Dart. Go
Jackson
ahead.
Dart. But he's learned nothing. And he's come out in press conferences where they said, hey, are you going to? He's like, yeah, that's not my playing style. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And I mean, that is just a head coach's absolute worst nightmare, to be like, okay, well, I guess I can't rely on this guy to be healthy. Like, so I think he either needs to grow up, mature, or he's not going to be in the league very long, because one of these concussions is going to really mess him up. Ask Tua about that one.
Going back to Tua, we didn't say who is going to be now the starter for Miami now that Tua is benched.
Oh, we didn't talk about that. I don't know if we need to, unfortunately. He ruined my Darren Waller share that I got late this year. But
you know, in life, it's hard to love.
That's the perfect song for this right now. Really, just depressing. Quinn Ewers is taking the helm, and it's going to be an absolute garbage time. Oh, gosh, it's going to be so bad. It's not going to be good.
How bad is it?
They just skipped over poor Zach Wilson, who's been the backup all year. Just said, nah.
What did I tell you about Zach Wilson? We were talking about him as maybe a potential stash because there's so many quarterback needy teams. There's still the needy teams that are out there. Like, what are they doing? Are they just like, okay, well, we're just trying to lose at this point with Quinn Ewers, or are they just saying, no, let's get the guy a chance and see what he has?
I think that's what it is. I think everybody knows what Zach Wilson is. Everyone's seen him play, but it's Quinn Ewers are like, well, what do we have here? I mean, they spent a 7th round draft pick on him or something, 6th or 7th.
6 or 7, yeah.
So they're like, whatever. Oh, get out of here. Oh my gosh.
If you're watching the YouTube, you know what happened here. And if you're listening, you probably know also.
Yeah, get out of here.
We don't say it. Keep going there, Colton.
They're just trying to see what they've got in the kid, and I mean, why not? Why not take the chance? You know what Zach Wilson is, but Quinn Ewers, it could be a boat. It's not, but it could be a boat. Not a boat.
It's definitely not a boat.
Like a dinghy, maybe. like a
So
demon.
you're concerned about Darren Waller?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not playing him. No, I did not have the cojones to put him in. No. Mm-mm.
I mean, when the Miami Dolphins were playing Pittsburgh just this past Monday, Waller didn't really get any catches until the very end of the game, and that's where he scored. I think he scored a touchdown, or did he score two?
I think two.
Yeah,
No.
maybe two touchdowns. One or
Yes.
two touchdowns. I'm pretty sure. I think it was two. But and then he's also injured on top of it, and he always has all these days during the entire week that he's questionable, not practicing because he's not quite caught up with the NFL yet since his retirement. So I don't know if he's playing or not, but they're playing Colton. They're playing the Cincinnati Bengals this weekend, who have the worst defense for like when they're playing against the tight ends.
Yeah, no, it doesn't
Um,
matter.
Unless you're the Ravens, because Andrews didn't do anything and likely didn't do anything last week. Too soon?
Yeah, I played likely in one of my contending leagues because I was just like, it's the Bengals. It was 3 weeks of nothing but tight end deliciousness, and then Lamar Jackson throws or makes 8 completions, throws the ball only 12 times, not a single one caught by Isaiah Likely. I was just so pumped. And like the Bengals just couldn't move the ball on offense. Joe Burrow, oh, we got to talk about that, man. Joe Burrow's in a funk. I mean, he is a very sad boy right now. Yeah. He has gone full blown sad boy Joe
Someone
Burrow.
said he was like emo Joe. I
Yeah.
heard that on a podcast. I'm sorry, I can't remember which podcast it was, but emo Joe. And I
Yeah,
gotta say,
man.
I'm concerned for these Bengals for the rest of the season. They've got nothing to play for. And if you watch the game, or just prior to the game, for when it was the Bengals versus the Ravens this past weekend, they had snow that was still sitting on the chairs on around the entire stadium. And it's against NFL rules for them not to have somebody come in to actually like blow off the chairs and clean the chairs off for the fans. But the Cincinnati Bengals owner is too cheap to get anybody to come by and clean up the chairs. And now we're hearing Joe Burrow just getting completely tired of the organization. We heard this with Carson Palmer. He's like, I'll retire or I need to get out of here. I'm going to retire or you need to trade me away. And it sounds like that's what's happening with Joe Burrow here.
Honestly, do you know what it's giving me vibes from? Andrew Luck, man. I mean,
Oh, with the injuries. You said that in the podcast a couple weeks ago.
with the injuries and just the organization is not doing well. To like, he's a generational quarterback. He is a fantastic quarterback. He is very good, and they've just done nothing to help him except for sign two fantastic wide receivers. You can do as much as you want with two great wide receivers. If you don't have a defense, if you don't have a line, you're not winning games. You're not making the playoffs. You're not winning a Super Bowl. And they're just wasting Joe Burrow's career away with just a poor organization. And it just sucks, man. And it's just really given me, Andrew Luck vibes. It's similar to like when he was there. The Colts didn't have an offensive line. He kept getting absolutely pummeled and injured. And he's just like, this isn't fun. And that's just exactly what Joe Burrow said. He's like, this isn't fun. I'm not having fun. He's like, what's the point of doing this if I'm not having fun? I'm like,
well, he is making millions of dollars.
yeah, you're not wrong.
For that organization. Highest paid quarterback, if I recall.
I
in
believe
the NFL.
I believe so. But that's got to be fun, right?
You can make a lot of fun out of that type of money.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. I mean, that sounds like loads of fun. I'll do it. Put me back there.
He has a couple more weeks to be with the team, and then he can have as much fun as he wants in the offseason with all of his millions of dollars. He just needs to suck it up, Sally.
It'll be interesting to see, though, how this offseason shakes out. Because this team could use all the draft picks they've in the world, and they could really collect some by sending out T. Higgins, Chase, and Burrow and just hit full reset. But real football isn't dynasty football where you can just sell your whole team.
Well, you know what the main difference was? You know what the main difference was this week for the Bengals compared to last week? Last week they had somebody that could make people stand out of their wheelchairs and watch the Bengals, and this week they didn't have them.
No,
And
that's
then
what it
all of a
is.
sudden now you got Emo Joe because now they don't have Jermaine Burton, former third-round pick Jermaine Burton,
Man,
playing guys like Tinsley out there.
what could have been? He was so talented. What a turd.
He must be. I mean, it must have been so bad. And so they're like, this guy just needs to. He needs to go.
Well, don't you
'Cause
remember?
he got suspended like the week before, and then like the next day they're like, you're cut. You're done.
Don't you remember last year? He was just like skipping meetings, not showing up, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And he's just like, "Nah." I'm like, man, what could have been? He was so talented too. He was.
I was in on him. And I was getting him late in rookie drafts. It wasn't like I was paying a first or a second for him. He was like that fourth round wide receiver that you're like, oh, there's so much hope. But then you look back and you're like, I probably should have drafted a running back.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly
any running back.
It's anything would have been better than him.
But speaking of running backs, Achane, we're circling around here. Achane and the Dolphins, there was MRIs. Did he have broken ribs or does he not? Achane actually, he played pretty well this past week. But the week before, it was like, oh, there was some real concern. And Jalen Wright got out there and he ran for over 100 yards out of nowhere. Blindly, might I add.
Yeah.
And he was able to get over 100 yards. And then was he going to be the next guy up? No, he's actually he sat back down this past weekend, and Achane was the guy again, and now again Ewers.
I was so confused. I mean, it makes sense. So Jalen Wright is a speedy guy, and that was kind of his thing in college. He was out of Tennessee, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think that's right.
He was speedy there. That's how they used him. And Ollie Gordon, who is their second running back now, he's a bruiser for them. He is shifty and a little bit elusive, but Wright is the speedy guy. So it makes sense that they brought him in to like when Achane went out to kind of take up the Achane role rather than Gordon. Because I was super pumped. I was like, man, it's Ollie Gordon time, but the way that they're using Gordon is just not that way. Even though I think he has the skill set that he could be an every down back, but that's just not how Miami wants to run their offense. They want the speedy one, and then they want to save up Gordon for that between the tackles bruising type. So I was unfortunately sad about that one, but Jalen Wright somehow getting it done with his blindfold on.
Well, you heard it here. Colton says they made the right choice. Going to the next tight end, Tootin. Rootin' Tootin. He was playing pretty well, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, he's out with a finger surgery, and now he's going to be out for a couple weeks. Leading into who's the next guy up, Colton?
Travis Etienne is getting all of the work. Don't you worry about.
He is getting all the work. Definitely.
Don't you worry about LaQuint Allen. But if Etienne goes down this week, my goodness, Dustin.
If he goes down, don't put that on him. Don't put that on him.
I'm just saying, if he goes down,
I think LaQuint Allen can still get a few touches here and there.
He might get a change of pace. He might get some snaps.
There'll be some sightings for sure, and I'll be excited for it.
If you see him out on the field, just be like, I know that guy. I know him. I've heard him.
Speaking of knowing guys from the Jaguars, Jacoby Myers is finalizing a 3-year contract. And, what's the impact on BTJ and Travis Hunter and this Jags offense?
I'm baffled by what the Jags are doing. I mean, they look good. They've obviously built it up. They're going to be a playoff team.
Prince is playing the best football in his entire career over the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, and I mean it's no coincidence that Jacoby Myers got pulled over and he starts playing better. I mean, Jacoby Myers is a guy that I have always liked in the NFL. I mean, he was stuck on the Raiders for a while and needed to get the heck out of there.
He did. He got out.
But I mean, he's just he's never been like the big play, fantastic wide receiver, stud alpha, but he's just so consistent he's like the Adam Thielen. He just is always in the right spot, getting open, He's just that guy and just knows where to go on the field. He's just a smart player. And I think that's made all the world of a difference for Lawrence. He has that guy now that is just the consistent, like, crap, I know he's going to be there. Here you go. Like, he can just trust him. I mean, BTJ is the speedy, get open down the field, and apparently just missed the ball this year. I don't know what's going on with BTJ, man.
I think it's going to come out after the season's over that he was just battling injuries since, like, training camp.
I mean, that's happened to another popular tight end that I know named Dalton Kincaid, but
Speaking of which, that was part of the reason I ended up losing, because it wasn't Kincaid catching the ball for touchdowns. It was Dawson Knox. And the team that I was playing against had Josh Allen and Dawson Knox in a 2 tight end team. And I'm watching, and I'm like, okay, well, the Patriots are completely dominating the Buffalo Bills in the first half. And I'm like, okay, this is going my way. And then the second half, the rails fall off. And the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, he's throwing all these bombs. And next thing you know, Dawson Knox. Ah, it's a frustration.
I think it's Dawson Knox wears the red gloves. So one of them wears red gloves. I think it's Dawson Knox. And I always get
painted in the blood of fantasy football players.
I get super excited when I see the red gloves. And I'm like, no, it's Knox. Throw the ball to Kincaid.
I mean, I wouldn't throw to Kincaid either. So, I mean, you got to give Josh Allen credit. Future MVP Josh Allen for this year.
That's because the balls that you throw would look like Phillip Rivers.
I don't know if I could throw it as good as Phillip Rivers.
I mean, I think anyone can, man.
That first ball, I know you didn't watch it. The first ball that he threw to the sidelines for Jonathan Taylor had to turn back around and dive towards the ball to have any kind of chance to catch it, because it was just going.
I'm so glad
in the air. I watched the entire game. I was glued to the television and to Rivers.
I'm so glad I didn't get to watch this game. Honestly, I wouldn't have dealt well with it. I would not.
Just going back to that loss, I had Sam Darnold playing on the other end, and he was playing against Phillip Rivers, and he didn't look any better.
No, it was. I've heard it was a very poor. I mean, just the stats itself. It was like, what's happening?
So sad. Yep, sad story. Well, I was gonna say let's go to a better story, but it's kind of hit and miss. The good part of the story is Mike Evans is back. The sad part of the story is they ended up losing for Thursday Night Football against the Falcons. And it just was completely devastating to see the end of that game, because every single one of those Buccaneers fans and players, including Mike Evans, was like, how in the heck did we end up losing to the Falcons and Kirk Cousins without them even having London on the field?
It's because the man Kyle Pitts finally decides to return to rookie year Kyle Pitts form out of nowhere and goes for 166 and 3 touchdowns? Did he have like 11 catches? Is that what it was? On like 13, 14 targets or something?
I don't know, but I ended up having like 45 points from him on that team that I ended up losing. I had Kyle Pitts. So coming after that Thursday night game, I'm like, ooh, baby. Highest scoring tight end in fantasy football history.
What?
Kyle Pitts. And I lost by 4 points.
Where has this been? Where has it been? Where?
Colton, that one game, 7% of his entire career points was in that game.
That's insanity. That's insane. Just one game just is like, you know what? I am good at football. You know what he was doing? He's like, hey, Kurt, get me paid this offseason. Like, just chuck the ball to me. I'll catch it. I'll get it. You know, I want paid because he's in a contract year. He's not signed up for next year.
I saw him slide over some Cole's cash to Kirk Cousins.
He's like, yo,
here you go.
Hey, I got my birthday cold cash $10 here. Kirk, you get that ball, and I'll make sure you get hooked up.
Like, oh, Christmas is around the corner.
You,
Cold cash.
you need a new sweater vest, buddy.
You know what was also like kind of frustrating on the Buccaneers side is the Buccaneers, they go right down the field, they pull Bucky Irving on the goal line, and they put Sean Tucker in, and Sean Tucker scores a touchdown. And every goal line opportunity that the Bucs had in that entire game, Sean Tucker was the one on the goal line. In 2-minute drills, it was Rashard White. And you know who's on the outside looking in? Bucky Irving. And I played him in that league also. So, I mean, it just all keeps going around. Like, it's all hitting me right here.
You sound just like my brother. He is a huge Bucky Irving lover. He adores him way too much, I think. And every single time,
I don't adore Bucky Irving, to be clear. I'm more of a Rashad White guy.
I'm referring to, you sound like, because every single time Sean Tucker touched the ball and Rashad White goes in on the 2-minute drill, he texts me, he goes, what are they doing? Why are they what? This is the dumbest thing. They go, Bucky is your best player. What are you doing? I don't know what to tell you, man. I also Baker Mayfield is their best player. I'm just saying. You know, I think it's going to come out that his injury is way more serious than what he's letting it on. I think he's toughing this one out.
Baker?
Yeah.
Oh, man, it reminds me so much of when he played with the Browns and he tore up his shoulder and then he continued to play through it and looked god-awful. He's actually, like, still putting some plays together, but you can still see him. Like, he's throwing, like, bullets to everybody except for Egbuka. When he's targeting Egbuka, it's like over his head, out of bounds, nowhere to be seen.
They cannot connect.
It's so frustrating. They can't connect.
Yeah.
And Egbuka is so good. And I'm still playing him in fantasy football. And I'm like, my God, like, how are they not making these connections? The second I bench him is when all the connections start to hit. You know who I didn't have playing last week? I didn't have Mike Evans. I played Egbuka over Mike Evans. And boy, was that a mistake. There was going to be a snap count, and Mike Evans coming off of multiple injuries, the collarbone, the hamstring. And Mike Evans looked like normal Mike Evans. But if you watch this game, one last thing here, and I'll let you speak of it. But Mike Evans went up for a ball, and he dove up real high for it. And one of the Falcons defenders ended up taking out his legs. He lands on his head, neck, and upper back, and it almost looked like Mike Evans was going to be taken out of the game.
Yeah. It was absolutely wild that Baker and Egbuka just cannot connect. And I mean, Egbuka was one of my first-round exit players. I was a contender, just playing Egbuka all year long, and it's just towards this end he sputtered out. I mean, what do you do with Egbuka in Dynasty at this point? I mean,
you buy him.
Do you go and buy him? You think there's,
Yes.
but do you think there's a buying window?
No.
So you're not scared off of it?
Absolutely not. Are you afraid of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin in Dynasty?
No, I didn't say I
was. And is Baker Mayfield going to repair his shoulder in the offseason?
Yes, he is.
Okay. What are we worried about here, Colton?
I'm not worried. I'm not.
Egbuka was looking at potentially being the rookie of the year before he got injured. Remember, he had multiple injuries when Evans ended up going down, and he ended up battling it out for these last like 4 or 5 weeks to be their number one receiver because they had nobody else left. They had nobody left. And Egbuka just kept staying to play in, and through injury and then all of a sudden now Baker's injured. They just lost their connection, and they're just in two different universes right now, and they just need to find themselves and kind of just center themselves just a little bit closer together, and maybe they can make their run.
I think Egbuka is also more injured than what they're letting on. I mean, remember when he had his hamstring and they're like, he may not play this week. They're like, oh, Egbuka's in. And it's like,
that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like he played through injuries, and that's the one injury we know.
Right. So I agree. I think it's a buy window. Because I'm an Egbuka owner, and I had someone throw this is a rebuilding team, and they threw their 2027 first at me, and I was like, ooh, It was that plus, and I was like, yeah, this could be like the 101, 102 next year. And I might do it. I don't know, but
26 first or 27 first?
27 first.
I mean, that's supposed to be a good class, Colton. That's a tough one.
I know, it made me question. I almost took it because I'm like, his team is awful. I mean, it's most likely going to be he's the 102 this year, but he doesn't even own his pick for this year. So I'm like, he ain't rebuilding this year. I'm like, I might want that.
Yeah, I mean,
Jeremiah Smith out of Ohio State, man. I'm like, yeah.
that sounds like that's pretty much what the trade value is a 27 first. Like if you're looking ahead and you're looking at these teams, and you're looking at like maybe this is an early first round pick in 2027. Like, does that get it done for Egbuka? Because remember, this year Egbuka and a lot of fantasy platforms did not have Egbuka as their top one, their top two, or sometimes even their top three rookie wide receiver. He was getting drafted at the end of the first round this year, Colton.
I got him at the 113.
Sometimes at the 113 or the 201.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think there's an argument to be had that a 27 first, if you imagine that could be that early 27 first, I think everyone's looking at Smith. But there's Tate also, and they have all these they've got a number of quarterbacks that are going to be coming out that year too. Because sneak peek, this year in 2026 we're going to have another year of quarterbacks that maybe aren't the quarterbacks you're looking for to help like rebuild your team. Running backs that are really thin. There's going to be some wide receivers, but again, like that's not really moving the needle. So everyone's kind of like skipping 2026 and like, oh, but 2027.
Did you not get my reference here?
I got it.
These are not the quarterbacks you were looking for.
Yes, exactly.
I just was hoping you got my Jedi mind tricks.
Yeah, well, when you ever walk into those automated doors at the grocery store, do you ever go like this and get the doors just to open as you're walking through them?
No, I've not done that.
You're missing the opportunity, Colton.
I am.
As you're walking forward, you do the Jedi trick and you open the door as you're walking through.
I do like that. I might have to start doing it. It's a good one. Yeah.
It's electric.
It's electric. But yeah, I actually have a buddy in a league that he is just absolutely hoarding 2027 picks. And I mean hoarding. Like he's just gathering them all up because he's a college guy. He really likes to watch college football. So that's all he's doing. He's like sold his whole team and he's just stockpiling. I'm like, you can't make a team out of all rookies. Like that's not how to play.
That brings up a really good segment for the Dynasty Fantasy Football podcast. And that's like what's the right way to rebuild? And that might be a segment we need to do in the off season. And I've seen it over and over again where teams are like, hey, I'm rebuilding. And then they're in this continuous loop of I'm rebuilding. Mm-hmm. I'm rebuilding. They draft their players and then they sell their players for less than what they bought, what they got them for in the draft, or they'll get the next year's first, and they're just continuously at this I'm just going to draft like mode.
Oh yeah.
And then you get into the argument of like, why are you playing fantasy football? To win, to have fun, to
draft rookies.
Just draft. There's some people that just want to draft, and I don't know. I've seen it too many times where these people are trying to rebuild and like, hey, I'm going to stockpile every single pick in the 27 draft, and it's like it's not going to work.
It's not. No matter how good it is, it's just not. It's not going to pan out. It's not.
There's somebody out there right now that's holding a ton of 2026 first round picks, and now that the college season is about over, we got some bowl games that are coming up. They're looking at their picks and they're like, "Oh, these picks might not be worth as much as I thought they were."
No, especially, man,
these aren't the picks I was looking for.
Definitely not. I've been listening to a couple of people start talking about next year's draft class, and I'm just not excited for this upcoming year. I'm just not. I mean, I'm sure I'll get more excited. I'll find a couple guys that I like. I mean, this year I wasn't all that excited, but
I'm
there's a
excited
few
right
guys.
now, Colton, but when the fantasy football playoffs are over, we're going to get a little more excited.
Yeah, maybe we'll see.
I'll be excited when I go to the combine.
Well, that's true. It'll be a good time.
Definitely. Any other players you want to talk about here, Colton?
No, we covered a lot.
I've got one game. We're in Illinois, Colton, so we gotta talk. We gotta talk about the Packers and the Bears game that's going to be coming up this Saturday. We had Micah Parsons also go out with an ACL. Christian Watson's out. The Packers, they have an O-line that's out.
He's questionable.
He's not playing. They haven't been able to solve any. They haven't had any solutions for when Tucker Kraft ended up going down a number of weeks ago. And then you've got the Bears, and let me tell you, here in Illinois, everyone's hyped about these Bears and playing against the Packers without Micah Parsons, only to find out that Rome Odunze is not playing. Luther Burden is also not playing. Odunze last week, he was going to play on his foot, and then right in warm-ups, he ends up injuring his foot. He was the last second, like, oop, I guess I'm not going to play. And if you weren't paying attention, you started him and got a big fat 0. What do you think about the Bears and the Packers this coming Saturday on a Saturday night football? We're there Saturday night.
I was actually really excited. I mean, I have so many friends that are Bears fans, and I've just watched them struggle for so long now. Since my Colts beat them in the Super Bowl, I'm pretty sure is like the last time it was like the Bears were actually decent, and they were just so full of hope and excitement just to watch it all be ripped down. Now, granted, they still have a very good defense, but I mean, all these offensive weapons, it's a good thing they just keep drafting to their offense because, my gosh, like they're missing everyone. I mean, Odunze, Burden, so you got the ghost of DJ Moore out there, which actually had a very impressive catch last week. It
On my bench.
It was pretty sweet. Caleb's starting to showing all of his throws that he can make, starting to play better. I mean, they looked good. This was supposed to be the game. And now it's just is two very wounded teams just going up. And I think it's going to be two defenses just beating the crap out of each other.
They're going to be clawing and scraping because this game means, are you going to make the playoffs or aren't you going to make the playoffs?
Yeah. I mean, and everybody's like, Micah Parsons is out. The Packers are ruined. I'm like, he's just one player. It is still a very good defense. Sure, you're not going to get as much pressure on the quarterback, but it's still a very good defense. And it's just like two old people just injured going at each other at this point. They just need to heal up.
Guess who?
You're not playing with Phillip Rivers.
Why? Why Phillip
heard,
Rivers?
I heard a fun fact. And did you know this with Luther Burden, when he's actually played, he is 2.48 yards per route run, which is top 20 in the NFL. Not top 20 as a rookie, but top 20 in the NFL when he's healthy and when he's playing and when he's running routes.
When they get him the ball.
That's amazing.
He's looked super good when they get the ball to him. I have no idea what they are doing when they had like Olamide Zaccheaus in there over him. And then they start getting him the ball. They're like, wow.
0.7 yards per route run, Olamide Zaccheaus.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
7.
Luther Burden, our second round draft pick, is good at football. Oh my gosh, who knew? And I was just like, yeah. Why would you not get the ball to him more often? And they were just using him weird. And I feel like he was such a Ben Johnson guy too, because they could do so much with him because he's just a talent with the ball in his hand. He's an okay receiver, but it's when the ball is in his hand. He was the yak guy in college. And like as soon as the ball in his hand is where he made the magic happen. So I'm like, man, Ben Johnson could do so much with it. And then finally he's starting to get the chance and ramp up, and then now he's out to injury, which makes me sad because I do like him a lot. But hopefully he just is out for the rest of the year. Nobody sees his true potential, and maybe we have a buy-in window.
Should we be buying Luther Burden right now?
Well, if you're locked because of trade deadline, but that's what I'm saying.
There are some leagues that have a trade deadline. That is true. I've got one of my 5 dynasty leagues has a trade deadline, but the other 4.
Is there no trade deadline in Wizarding World?
Wizarding World is the one.
Oh, okay. I was like, I thought I just went to look today and there was a cutoff.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, okay.
It's trade deadline at playoffs.
Okay.
Because there's a magical barrier that gets put up.
Oh, can I not do the Voldemort and just kind of even stronger than everybody else?
You have the Elder Wand.
Yeah, maybe.
Does the Elder Wand, does it follow you?
Phillip Rivers is on my team, I think.
Phillip Rivers Elder Wand.
I think we got the title. Just make sure you don't put Phillip Rivers Elder Wand. That's how he got all them babies. That's how he has 10 kids.
Oh my God. Well, everybody, that's the show. That's the show right there. If you've enjoyed the podcast and you're still listening to the podcast, I hope you got a good laugh there at the end. You can find me at FF Healers, and you can find Colton at FF Captain 22 on Twitter X. We are the Fantasy Football Healers, and we hope you have a wonderful holiday season.
Salud.
Are you kidding me? Your man River won't shut up about it.